guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all how I fill my TWSBI Eco fountain pen. Now I purchased this fountain pen from Jet Pens, but you can also get this on Amazon or on Goulet Pens or from the TWSBI website. This guy is the regular Eco, so it comes in this plastic case and it has a red wrapper inside of that case. If you purchase the Eco T, the wrapper is like a teal turquoisey color. Inside you'll find the pen as well as a wrench and a small silicone bottle. I purchased the pastel blue with an extra fine nib. The pen comes with that little warning that says don't use alcohol on the pen because it could potentially corrode the plastic or also the functioning of the pen as I understand it. This little guy is a wrench and it is used to loosen the top of the pen. This is how you fill this pen because it's filled with a piston mechanism. I also understand that you can use this to take the pen apart, but it's not something I'm brave enough to do just yet. This little one is just the silicone in there, and that is to help lubricate the pen in the event that you ever need to do that. In the inside of the plastic container, everything is held in place by this silicone feeling plasticky thing that holds everything in place. Very technical term there. Up top, when you look at this wrapper, there is an explanation of what each of the items are, so the wrench and the silicone bottle. And at the bottom of this insert, it shows you how to fill it. I'm glossing over that because that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to show you how to fill that pen. This is a handy little plastic case. It is kind of a frosted plastic and it has the TWSBI logo there embossed on the top. Moving on to the actual pen. So the body of the pen is a little bit over 5.4 inches, just under 5.5 inches when it's closed, which is just about 14 centimeters metric. You can pull this warning not to use alcohol right off of the pen. There's no need to pick up the clip or anything additional. It is a twist top, so you do have to twist off the top to expose the nib of the fountain pen. And if you look very closely on the nib, you'll see that the body of the nib has TWSBI written on it as well as the logo sketched in there. Both the top of the pen and the cap are a hexagonal shape, and I really like this shape. I kind of like playing with it at work and playing on the ridges. Some people will like it, some people don't like it. It posts very nicely also on the top of the pen, so if you place the cap on the top, it has a plastic O-ring that kind of keeps the cap secure onto the pen, and it has a nice sealed feel to it when you post it on top and kind of push down a little bit. When you twist it closed, there's also another plastic O-ring on the top of the threading, which ensures that your pen nib is kept wet so that the ink does not dry up there. All right, now we're ready to ink up. Most fountain pen manufacturers will tell you that you should flush your pen first before you ink it up in its initial fill. But I get really excited and tend not to do that. It's very easy. You just kind of rinse out the inside of the pen using water with the same technique that I'm going to show you for filling it with this Waterman Intense Black ink. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill it with this ink, even though I know that I should have washed it out. I did not do that. But what I did do was grab some paper towels and also laid down some paper on top of my table in the event I have an unfortunate accident with the ink. I didn't want it to get all over my white table, which is why I put down that blue paper, which just coincidentally, in quotations, matches my pen. Things that match make me very happy. But I put this down simply to protect my table, and I also want to make sure that I protect my hands, so if something spills, I have the paper towel readily available and also some soap and water. Now, given the angle of my camera, it's going to be a little hard to show you what's happening when I'm actually filling it, but I do want to demonstrate what happens when you turn the top of this pen counterclockwise. So when you do that, you bring down the piston that's on the inside of the pen, and that starts to go to the bottom of the pen closer to the nib, and that is what is going to be retracted as you are turning it clockwise. It's going to start filling up with ink. So what I'm going to do is directly insert the pen. One of the mistakes that you'll see me make in a moment is I was overly cautious and I didn't put in enough of the pen into the ink so that it could get soaked up onto the ink, or with the kind of vacuum be pulled up into the ink reservoir. So I had to make sure that I inserted the pen far enough. I put it in kind of where you hold the pen. That section was placed all the way in, and then I rotated the top of the pen clockwise to start to suck up some of the ink. Now I'm just shaking off some of the excess ink, and you'll see that the pen is about halfway full. What I do is I take the pen and I turn it upside down so that the nib is facing upward, and then I bring down the piston all the way so that I can try to fill the pen as much as possible. So I expel some of the air that's in that chamber by holding it upward and allowing the ink to run out, kind of forcing some ink out of the pen. And now that I have all of the space is pretty much taken up by ink, I'm going to reinsert it into my ink well, and I'm going to do the same thing, just suck up some more ink. This ink I purchased off Amazon, and it was about $7.50 when I purchased it a few weeks ago. You can also find it on jetpens.com, and it's about $12 there. And I purchased it because on JetPens it was one of the recommendations for starter inks in intense black, that it was pretty easy to work with, and I've been pretty happy with it, especially in this extra fine pen. Now that I'm done filling it with ink, I do that shake off again to shake off any excess ink. And what you'll see is that your nib will have some ink on it, and also that grip area where you hold your pen might have some ink on it. So I use this opportunity to take my paper towel and I wipe off the sides of it. Now you're going to get a bunch of ink on this because your paper towel will likely touch the breather hole. But after you've done it just 1 or 2 times, it should get itself pretty clean. And then with the Eco, I also write a little bit with it on the paper towel just to make sure that I don't get any ink burps. So I don't want any splatters when I start writing, so I want to make sure that I've gotten out any air bubbles or anything that might cause any kind of spill or an excessive expulsion of ink when I'm using it on paper. So I kind of work with it a little bit on the paper towel. I did it a few more times, mostly because this was a brand new pen, so I wanted to make sure I was putting a clean nib into the cap, and then you just screw it on and you're ready to write. This pen is quickly becoming one of my favorite pens in my collection, so I was happy to be able to share how I fill it up. If you have any additional techniques on how you fill up your piston fountain pens or your TWSBI Eco, please leave them in the comments section down below. And until next time, guys, I hope this video brought you some utility and joy.